Good morning, Excel Geo. Now, I hope you looked at the three videos that were posted from YouTube above this. So, in the three videos posted above, what they demonstrated was that whether you had a cone, or a prism, a cone or a pyramid, if that cone had the same base as a cylinder, I could fill 3 cones of water and that would equal the same volume as one cylinder with the same base. If I had a pyramid and I had a prism with the same base, I can fill three of those pyramids and they would equal the same volume as that prism with the same base. Now the key there would be the same base and the same height. So in order for the cone, 3 cones to fill a cylinder, it has to have the same base and the same height as that cylinder. In order for 3 pyramids to fill a prism, they have to have the pyramid have to have the same height and the same base as the prism. Now that helps us understand something. All right. Now, guys, we're obviously not with a partner right now, so we're going to skip that warm up. But if I wanted to talk about the volume of a pyramid or a cone, if it took 3 cones with the same height and base to be equivalent to a cylinder, I know that if I wanted to know the volume of the cone therefore should be, the volume of that cone should be 1/3 the volume of the cylinder. So the equation should be 1/3 pi r squared h. That is my cone. Now that same thing, it would be similar if I look at the volume of my pyramid. Your volume would be 1/3 base area times height. We're taking 1/3 the volume of the prism that has the same base and height. That would be the volume of the pyramid. So let's take a look down here. Okay, so we're talking about a volume of a pyramid that is 147 meters high. So that represents my height right there. That is 147 meters. Now, this is going to be a square pyramid. So if, in this case, I'm just going to add some tick marks so that we see that. This is a square pyramid down there. All right. So now if I want to find the volume of this pyramid, I am going to use my formula. I'm going to say my volume will equal 1/3 the base area times the height. Well, if I look at this, the base area of a square, so that means it's 1/3 231 squared times my height of 147. So what will that be? What will the approximate volume of that pyramid be? The approximate volume of that pyramid would be, let's say, it was 3,922,033.5 meters cubed. That would be the volume of my pyramid. Okay, let's take a look at our next one. Next, we have a cone. We have a right cone. So let's see. I'm given 41. Now be careful here. 41 in this case is not my height. 41 is my slant height. So I'm going to label that L. That is a slant height. Now I need to find my actual height. My actual height will be the segment that goes from the vertex that is perpendicular to the plane containing the base. So in this case, there's my height. Now, if I want to see my radius in this case is half that diameter that they gave me. So that radius will be 9. So I can use, again, the Pythagorean theorem here to help me find my height. So you're going to say h squared plus 9 squared equals 41 squared. And if we solve this, guys, if I solve it, what do I get? I get h to be 40. That is a Pythagorean triple, 9, 40, 41, not a very common one, so we sometimes forget about it. Now, if we take a look at this, we now have enough information. So I can say, how do I find that volume? Well, that volume is 1/3 the base area. I'm sorry, pi, we know the base area. So pi r squared times the height. So let's take a look. That means it is 1/3 pi. My radius is 9 squared times my height of 40. So if I take a look at that, let's figure that out now, guys. If I simplify that, that will be 1,080 pi units cubed. And if I want to give an approximate answer, I would say 392.92 units cubed. So those would be my two answers, okay? If I said leave it in terms of pi, you'd give me the first answer. If I said approximate it to the 100th place, you'd give me my second answer. Now, guys, I'm going to add something to the diagram in example 3. I should have 2 right angles here. So I want to, this should be a right angle here and a right angle down there. There's 2 right angles added. So by adding those 2 right angles, I can see that my height is 8. Okay. And I can also see that my base area would be 1/2 6 times 5. All right. So if I take a look at this, that means my base area would be 15. Now I can easily find my volume. Volume equals 1/3 base area times height. So that base area is 15. My height is 8. So I know that the volume would be 40 units cubed. All right. Okay, now this is when we're given the information and we're asked to find the volume, but sometimes we're going to be given the volume and asked to find an unknown part. So we have a cone here. The radius of the base of the, find the radius of the base of the cone with volume that is 40 inches cubed. So we are actually solving for R here. We're solving for R. Yep. So if I take a look and I want to solve for that R, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that volume formula because I know the volume. I have 1/3 pi r squared h. And I'm going to plug in what I know. I know my volume is 40 inches cubed. I know my height is 6 inches. And I'm going to solve. Now, if I simplify this, I can get 1/3 of 6 is 2. So you're going to get 40 equals 2 pi r squared. And then you're going to divide both sides by 2 pi. Now, when you divide by 2 pi in your calculator here, make sure you put in parentheses. So on the right side here, everything just cancels. And on the left, I get 40 divided by 2 pi. Make sure that 2 pi is in parentheses when you put it in the calculator. Now, that means that r squared would be equivalent to approximately 6.366. And then we are going to, I'm going to put an approximation sign there because I rounded. And then if I take the square root, r will be approximately 2.523 inches. All right. And that's how we solve for the radius. Now let's take a look at our next one. The pyramid has a volume of 250 centimeters cubed. Its base is a square and has the height of 7.5 centimeters. Find the length of the base edge. So what they're saying is if I have a square pyramid, okay, guys, I have this square pyramid. I don't know my side lengths, but because it's a square, I know they're both the same exact length. So they're telling me the volume. And remember, if we have a pyramid, it's 1/3 base area times height. If they're telling me the volume, they're telling me this is 250 centimeters cubed. The base area, well, if it's a square base, the basis formula is going to be like x squared, the side length times itself. And the height we know is 7.53. So if we simplify this, guys, what you have here is you get s squared Okay, I'm sorry, S. I wrote X. X squared in this case, if I multiply by 3 and divide by 7.5, you are going to get X squared to be 100, and then X would be 10. So the answer would be 10 centimeters would be that side length. So there is my solution. All right, now let's take a look at 6. I just wanted to remind you guys of a formula. I don't know if you've worked with it, but let's talk about if you think the area of a trapezoid, the formula, if to recall, is 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height of the trapezoid. So when they say find the length of segment AB, if the volume is 56, they're asking for the height of that trapezoid, not the height of the prism, but the height of the trapezoid. So we have to be careful here. Okay, so I'm going to label it a different variable just so that we're going to use X for that. So if I think of base area here, so let's think base area. Base area then should be 1/2 base 1. The bases are the two parallel sides. So it would be 5 plus 9 times the height of that trapezoid, which we're labeling X. So we don't get confused with the height of the trapezoid with the height of the pyramid. So now let's take a look. If I simplify that, that would simplify to 7X for my base area. So now if I want to find my volume, I'm doing 1/3 base area times height. So that's 1/3 7X times a height of 12. What is that going to be? Well, if I take a look at that, if I simplify that, correct, I get this to simplify to 28X. But we already know the volume. They told me up here that my volume is 56. So all I have to do now is say, well, 56 has to equal that 28X and solve for my value of X. Well, if I solve and divide by 28, X is equivalent to 2. So that means since X represents AB, the length of AB would be equivalent to 2 units. And that would be my solution. All right. Okay, last thing, oblique. Now the same thing with the same thing applies with a cone as it does with a pyramid. I'm sorry, a cone and a pyramid with a prism and a cylinder. An oblique cone will have the same volume as a cone that has the same height and the same base. So we're still utilizing that same formula. So down here, you're going to say the volume equals 1/3 pi r squared h. And remember, the height in this case is always from the vertex, a segment from the vertex to the plane containing the base. And it has to be perpendicular. So you have your volume equals 1/3 pi 3 squared times 8. Now, if I simplify that, what do I get? I get 24 pi units cubed. And if I want to find an approximation, I get 75.398 units cubed. All right, your assignment for today is posted below. If you have any questions, please come to office hours. If you have any difficulty with anything and you need to set up an individual Google Meet, please let me know and we can set up something tomorrow if you are available. Otherwise, you have a quiz on Tuesday. We will review on Monday. We will review with a live class on Monday, so I'll be doing a live review on Monday. If you have any questions, please come prepared. Please feel free to email them to me too so I can prepare something if needed. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.